He used to be a brilliant young man, full of life and promise. Now he sits silently in a wheelchair, invited to his ex-girlfriend's wedding, a wedding where she smiled politely and he watched quietly, with tears welling in his eyes. And just when the awkward tension hit its peak, his new caregiver, Louisa, suddenly plopped herself onto his lap, playful, spontaneous, and completely unpredictable. Her name is Louisa Clark, a quirky girl with loud clothes and an even louder heart. She was hired to care for him for 6 months, but there's one thing she still doesn't understand: why the contract is only for 6 months. During her first interview, her skirt literally ripped before she could say a word. In a panic, she tied her coat around her waist, a small gesture that surprisingly won over her employer's mother. Louisa was hired on the spot.
I'm Lou.
Hello, Louisa Clark. I'm Will Trainer.
But little did they know, that day was probably the most normal she'd ever dress. Her bold fashion choices soon became part of her charm, though Will, the man in the chair, didn't seem amused. In fact, he told her straight up, "Make it 6 months, then you can go." At first, she thought he was just cold and bitter, until one day she overheard his parents arguing, and the truth hit her like a punch to the chest. Will had chosen assisted suicide. Those 6 months weren't for recovery. They were a countdown to the end. Louisa was devastated. For someone who brought color and energy into every room, the idea of standing by while someone gave up on life felt unbearable. She wanted to quit, but when she got home, she saw her family waiting for good news. A stay-at-home dad, a struggling sister, a hopeful mother. She couldn't let them down. So the next day, Louisa returned. She smiled like always, joked like always, and fed him lunch, only to spill it all over his pants on accident. Will, ever sarcastic, rolled his eyes. Dressed in a lazy sweater with a scowl on his face, he simply said, "My mother says we had a deal. You keep your annoying energy far away from me." But what neither of them expected was that this strange deal would become something far more powerful, the beginning of something that just might change both of their lives forever.